In the world of celebrities, where lights are always flashing and cameras never stop clicking, it's easy to forget that even the most glamorous stars are human. They laugh, they cry, they get tired, and yes, they get lonely. And sometimes, it's in those quiet, vulnerable moments when we see who they really are, not just the images crafted for the public. Recently, fans caught wind of a tender story involving Angela Simmons, daughter of the legendary Reverend Run, and Memphis rap heavyweight Yo Gotti. On what seemed like an ordinary night, Angela found herself at home, feeling the weight of solitude pressing down on her. Instead of masking it, she did something raw and real. She picked up her phone and called Gotti, asking him to come over. That one phone call didn't just reveal a late-night exchange. It painted a picture of love, vulnerability, and the kind of bond that can't be faked. Angela Simmons has lived her life in front of the world since she was young. Growing up as the daughter of Rev Run, one of hip-hop's most respected pioneers, she was introduced to fame before she even understood what it meant. From starring in the family reality show Run's House to becoming a fashion entrepreneur, businesswoman, and social media influencer, Angela has worn many hats. But with all that visibility comes an unshakable truth. People see the highlights, the curated images, the achievements, and the smiles, but rarely the moments of vulnerability. Behind the success, Angela has experienced deep losses. She lost the father of her child in a tragic shooting, forcing her to face grief in the public eye. She has navigated heartbreak, rumors, and constant scrutiny about her choices as a woman, mother, and celebrity. And though she often projects strength and independence, which she truly embodies, there are times when even the strongest people need someone to lean on. That night was one of those times. Angela was at home, away from the flashing lights and public gaze, sitting with her thoughts and emotions. The silence around her felt heavy. Loneliness is a strange thing. It creeps in slowly until it feels overwhelming. And in that moment, Angela knew she didn't want to face it alone. Instead of hiding her feelings, Angela acted on them. She picked up her phone and called Yo Gotti. Their connection had already been the talk of the town for months. After years of Gotti openly rapping about having a crush on her, most famously in his hit song Down in the DM, the two finally made their relationship public. Fans loved the story. It felt like a real-life manifestation of dreams, the type of love story that doesn't often happen in hip-hop culture, where vulnerability from men is rare and women in the spotlight are often judged harshly for their choices. That night, Angela didn't call Gotti as the businesswoman, the influencer, or the public figure. She called him as Angela, the woman. And according to those close to her, her words were simple but powerful. "I'm home, I'm alone, and honestly, I'm feeling lonely. Can you come over?" It's a request that many people might consider ordinary. But when you strip away the fame and wealth, it's one of the most relatable human experiences, wanting the company of someone you trust when you feel the sting of solitude. For Angela, reaching out wasn't about weakness. It was about allowing herself to be vulnerable with someone she believed would understand. Now let's flip the perspective to Yo Gotti. For years, Gotti had made it no secret that Angela Simmons was his dream woman. He said it in interviews, put it in lyrics, and never shied away from expressing admiration. It became part of his image, the rapper from Memphis with hustle, power, and respect in the game, yet still unafraid to openly crush on one of hip-hop's most visible women. Many fans saw it as wishful thinking, but for Gotti, it was persistence, manifestation, and real desire. So imagine being him, years after speaking his feelings into existence, and receiving that late-night call from Angela herself, not for an event, not for a red carpet, but because she wanted him in that quiet, intimate moment. It was validation on another level, not just of his attraction, but of his role in her life. Reports suggest that Gotti didn't hesitate. Whatever he was doing that night, he put it aside. Because when the person you've admired for years calls you in their vulnerable moment, you don't delay, you go. For Gotti, it wasn't about clout or proving a point to the public. It was about Angela. It was about being there for her in a moment where she needed comfort, reassurance, and presence. And for a man who has built his empire on discipline and respect, this was more than a casual decision. It was him showing he was serious about her in the ways that truly matter. This one phone call might seem small, but it reveals something big about Angela and Gotti's relationship. Public couples often get caught up in the spectacle, the Instagram posts, the matching outfits, the paparazzi shots. But relationships that last are built in the moments no one sees. When Angela called him, she was trusting him with her vulnerability. That level of trust doesn't come overnight. It comes from consistency, honesty, and a bond that's been nurtured over time. For Angela, letting Gotti in like that is symbolic. It shows she sees him not just as a partner for the cameras, but as someone she can truly lean on. For Gotti, showing up that night was another step in proving he's more than just a man with lyrics. He's a man who backs up his words with actions. Their relationship is shifting from being a public spectacle to something deeper, grounded in intimacy and trust. What resonates most about this story is how human it is. Angela Simmons is a celebrity, yes, but that doesn't shield her from loneliness. She can have the world watching her every move and still feel alone when the cameras turn off. And that's something millions of people can relate to. Loneliness doesn't care about your bank account, your Instagram following, or your last name. It visits everyone, no matter how glamorous their lives may seem. Yo Gotti, on the other hand, represents what many people hope for in a partner. Someone who answers the phone, who shows up when it counts, who doesn't need a special occasion to care. In a culture where relationships often seem transactional or performative, this story stands out because of its simplicity. A woman felt lonely. She called the man she trusted, and he came. Sometimes, love really is that simple. When word of this late-night call spread, fans had mixed but passionate reactions. Many supporters of the couple celebrated it as another sign that their relationship is genuine. Social media lit up with comments like, "That's real love right there," and Angela finally let herself be vulnerable. And Gotti proved he's the man she always needed. However, Angela Simmons has never been shy about showing her softer side. Despite the fame, wealth, and status, Angela has endured tragedy and heartbreak, which makes her story resonate with fans. She's strong, independent, and successful, but like anyone else, she's human. And that humanity came through on the night she picked up the phone to call Yo Gotti. Sources claim Angela's words were heartfelt and simple. She admitted to being alone at home, feeling lonely, and wanting Yo Gotti to be there with her. Now, for most people, this could be interpreted as a moment of raw honesty. But when you're Angela Simmons, and the man on the other end of the call is Yo Gotti, the same man who publicly confessed his admiration for you years ago, things aren't so straightforward. Angela wasn't just calling any man. She was calling someone who once rapped about her, who spent years saying she was his dream woman. That history adds weight to the call, and it was that very weight that set the stage for Glorilla's reaction. To understand why Glorilla reacted the way she did, we need to rewind. Glorilla, born Gloria Hallelujah Woods, is one of Memphis's brightest young rap stars, rising to fame with her breakout hit FN. Let's Go. She quickly became a household name in hip-hop. But beyond the music, she also has a professional connection to Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti, the powerhouse behind CMG Records, has been instrumental in pushing Memphis talent to the forefront of rap. Under his leadership, artists like Moneybagg Yo, ESTG, and Glorilla herself have flourished. For Glorilla, Yo Gotti has been both a mentor and a powerful figure in her career. But their bond hasn't always looked purely businesslike to fans. Rumors have circulated that their chemistry might extend beyond the studio, with some speculating about a deeper personal connection. Whether or not those rumors are true, one thing is clear. Glorilla has a deep respect and emotional tie to Yo Gotti, and when Angela Simmons entered the picture, fans immediately began watching closely. For Glorilla, overhearing that late-night call wasn't just about Angela being vulnerable, it was about the possibility of Gotti's loyalty being tested. Here's where the drama intensifies. Glorilla, through an unexpected twist, ended up listening in on Angela's call to Yo Gotti. Whether it was through a shared line, being in the same room when the phone rang, or simply catching enough pieces of the conversation, she heard Angela's vulnerable words. And those words cut deep. To Glorilla, Angela's tone wasn't just friendly. It wasn't just casual. It sounded intimate, personal, even dangerous in the context of her relationship with Gotti. The way Angela expressed her loneliness, the way she asked him to come over, it struck Glorilla as more than just friendship. It felt like temptation, like an open door to something that could threaten everything she valued. Imagine being Glorilla in that moment, hearing the woman Yo Gotti once publicly called his crush, asking him to come over late at night. Even if nothing physical, happens with Angela, the appearance of emotional intimacy could be enough to fracture his relationship with Glorilla. As word of this situation spread, fans quickly picked sides. Some rushed to defend Angela, insisting that loneliness doesn't equal temptation and that she was simply being human. Others sided with Glorilla, arguing that she has every right to feel suspicious given Yo Gotti's history of publicly chasing Angela. Social media lit up with comments. "Glo ain't crazy. If a man rapped about me for years, I'd be suspicious too. Angela probably didn't mean anything by it, but perception matters. Late night calls don't look good. Yo Gotti better tread carefully, he's playing with fire." The hip-hop community thrives on drama, but beneath the memes and hot takes lies a very real conversation about trust, respect, and boundaries in relationships. Others were more skeptical, questioning whether sharing such intimate details with the public was wise. Some argued that relationships in the spotlight face enough pressure without fans dissecting every private moment. But regardless of the opinions, one thing became clear: the world is invested in this couple. People want to see them win. They want to see Angela happy after years of ups and downs. And they want to see Gotti's longtime dream finally flourish into something lasting. Looking at the bigger picture, this moment was about more than just one night of loneliness. It was a milestone in their journey as a couple. Every relationship has those defining moments: the first time you open up about your fears, the first time you lean on each other in vulnerability, the first time you realize the other person truly has your back. For Angela and Gotti, this was one of those moments. It proved that Angela could trust Gotti not just with her public image, but with her private emotions. It proved that Gotti was ready to step into the role of a partner who doesn't just talk about love, but lives it. And for fans watching from the outside, it gave a rare glimpse into what real intimacy looks like when you strip away the fame. At the end of the day, Angela Simmons' late-night call to Yo Gotti wasn't just about loneliness. It was about connection. It was about two people, both in the spotlight, choosing to be real with each other when the world wasn't watching. It showed that vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's the foundation of real love. And it reminded all of us that behind the Instagram posts, the luxury, and the headlines, celebrities are just people looking for someone to answer the phone when they call. So the question now is, where does this relationship go from here? If Angela and Gotti continue building on these moments of honesty and care, they might just become one of hip-hop's strongest couples. But as always, only time will tell. What do you think? Was this call a sign of true love, or just a temporary moment of vulnerability? Are Angela Simmons and Yo Gotti the real deal? Or is the pressure of fame too much for any relationship to handle? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest stories in music and culture.